Hello and welcome to this place. I'm taking a break from, or maybe you can see better. I'm taking a break from cleaning to one-handed set up a tripod to show you guys a little project that I have to get done. And we're going to do it. Sorry about that. Yeah, I got to get it done. So, got this here generator thing, and it had this little dinky fuel tank on it, holds like a teaspoon, and we've been having, I don't know, say what you will about global warming or whatever, but this year has been brutal. Power outages, ridiculous rain, all that stuff. So we've actually had to rely on the generator more than once. The issue is that I have to stay up all night bottle feeding this friggin' thing because there's just no fuel in it, not enough. It lasts about an hour and 20 minutes. So I got this glorious hunk of tin from Amazon, you know where it came from, and I got to figure out a way to mount it because it doesn't mount very well, it doesn't sit very well. So I don't want to put a bunch of money into this, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to make it out of some angle iron and some old bed frame parts. I'm just going to cut it up. We're going to weld something on her and hopefully raise it up. So the key here is that it has to be raised up enough that some air can get between it, betwixt the fuel tank and the Jenny, the motor there. But I still have to be able to access the that thing right here. That's how you shut it off, little ground. And then I also have to be able to check and change the oil and access this fuel tank. So what I want to do is, this is supposed to be a 7-gallon. That one is like a gallon and a half or whatever, I don't know. But I'm going to put a T in it so they'll both suck at the same time, and hopefully I'll get a little bit extra capacity other than just this 7. So the whole idea is that this tank has to sit on here, be higher, pivot. It has to be able to pivot up. So that's what we're going to try to make. So I've got a rough idea. I don't know how well it's going to work in reality, but let's do it and see what happens. Right on. All right, so I found these old hinges. I don't know if you can tell or not, but by the patina, they are rather ancient. Stanley 204 when they actually used to put price tags on things. So I thought about making a hinge deal, but I don't want to do that. Fast and easy, that's what I'm trying to go for. So the idea here that I've come up with would be, see, alright, here's another potential issue. These holes here almost fit perfect. So if they did, I could just, put a piece of round stock up, put a little cap on it. They'd sit in there, no big deal, but they're about an inch off. So that means that one would sit kind of over this, the other one's here, where it should be. So that sucks. So my idea was to take this hunk of bed frame, stick her on the side like meh, and so then we would have something along those lines. Get you a better angle. How's that? You looking all right? Yeah, you can see. So do that thingamajigger there, and then grab a hunk of this here angle iron, and she would sit underneath and kind of cradle the tank. And then I would drill a hole here and through here, run a bolt in, and then we would have our rudimentary hinge, and all you need is prop rod and some something there to kind of for it to rest on. But that would be it. But you can't just do that, because this side will have to be trimmed off round to make room, because it's hitting this part, or I'll have to trim this part down and kind of make a little cutout. That's kind of where I'm going with it. I'm thinking the little cutout on this side would be good, because then I'll have more meat here and meat there to run the bolt in, and then just cut this out, shim it with a few washers. I think that'll be good. So we'll get to cutting and drilling. You ready? So I found these old hinges. I don't know if you can tell or not, but by the patina, they are rather ancient. Stanley 204 when they actually used to put price tags on things. So I thought about making a hinge deal, but I don't want to do that. Fast and easy, that's what I'm trying to go for. So the idea here that I've come up with would be, see, alright, here's another potential issue. These holes here almost fit perfect. So if they did, I could just, you know, put a piece of round stock up, put a little cap on it. They'd sit in there, no big deal, but they're about an inch off. So that means that one would sit kind of over this, the other one's here, where it should be. So that sucks. So my idea was to take this hunk of bed frame, stick her on the side like meh, and so then we would have something along those lines. Get you a better angle. How's that? You looking all right? Yeah, you can see. So do that thingamajigger there, and then grab a hunk of this here angle iron, and she would sit underneath and kind of cradle the tank. And then I would drill a hole here and through here, run a bolt in, and then we would have our rudimentary hinge. And all you need is prop rod and some something there to kind of for it to rest on. But that would be it. But you can't just do that, because this side will have to be trimmed off round to make room, because you know, it's hitting this part, or I'll have to trim this part down and kind of make a little cutout. That's kind of where I'm going with it. I'm thinking the little cutout on this side would be good, because then I'll have more meat here and meat there to run the bolt in, and then just cut this out, shim it with a few washers. I think that'll be good. So we'll get to cutting and drilling. You ready? Looks like this one's the worst of the lot because I cut it a little bit off center. So I'm going to do her like that. Take this down an inch and a foot, somewhere in there, in that general direction. These are pretty wild. I'll have to do a little something or another on these things, because I thought I was just buying the cheap old Harbor Frigate earmuffs, but I didn't even realize it. Ready? Oh gee whiz. It's got some electronicals inside of it, and it's actually really cool what it does. I fully suspected that, or expected, that these would be straight trash, but it turns out they're actually pretty cool in what they do. So I'll show you all that stuff in a bit there. So we're just going to take it out a little bit in there. Chop suey, no big deal. I'm not too worried about how it turns out, because it doesn't really matter. Genius! Done. I should have been wearing my safety goggles, but I wasn't. Glorious. Yeah, no, it's kind of crooked. It's went through a little bit, but I ain't trying to measure none. Straight. So it'll definitely be able to just hold up a friggin' fuel tank. No worries there. So we'll do the other one, and then we'll mock it up and see how she looks. Let me see. That one goes like that. This one goes like that. So cutting on this side now. Alright, so the way that we've got it right now is, let's see what's the best way to show you. Probably like, yeah. So now, we're going to mount said support. Let me see, can you see? You can't really see. This flip around screen's kind of messing with my head. There we go. Focus there. I'm poking it. I'm poking it, she ain't focusing there, whatever. So, the tank will sit in it like this, in the support. Stick it right, meow. Put a, ouch. She's kind of warm a little bit. Drill a hole in it, and then there we go. We got our pivot. Nothing's hitting. Nothing too crazy. It's going to be dirty. Not dirt cheap. Well, it was dirt cheap, but super easy. We'll space it off because it's not flush, especially on the other one. Got a little bit of a hanger there. There you go. It's not perfectly flush. I could grind it if I wanted, but I don't want to because washers are a lot easier than grinding. So drill a hole through here, drill a hole through there, stash, kind of kick it off with a washer. Put a bolt through it. Whoop, there we go. Instant hinge. Okay, so it shouldn't be too difficult. Pretty easy stuff. I'll just throw that down. We don't need that or anything. I have never really used these step bits, but they are pretty cool. Used one yesterday. Pretty cool stuff. We might revert to the step bit if these don't work. I just kind of eyeballed it. I don't even know what size bolts I found. And I'm just going to kind of get her close. Don't need that. I probably should unlock the table before I try to crank it up. There we go. Now again, you know, I'm not trying to get this thing, it doesn't need a lot of meat to support this. I just want it to hold the bolt. Probably should drill a pilot hole, but tank going. Nice and slow. I could probably add some oil to it if I wanted to, but again, not gonna. Let me get you in on it. People like to see the inner workings. Don't worry about that grinding sound, that's normal. Oops, that's normal. We'll test on it with one of these. Jeez, now I'm starting to use phrases from other people without unconsciously. There we go. Just got to deburr it a little. Oh, look, the burr came right off in my hand. Oh, you can't see anything because you're all zoomed in. So, there you go. Easy peasy. There we are. So we'll do that to, crikey. So where did I put that other piece of steel? There it is. So that's how we're going to do it. Right here. Like this. Tip it up. So we're just going to kind of stick this in there and eyeball it. That's what you got to do a lot of times, is eyeball it. Doesn't have to be right on the money, it just has to be close. So we're just going to do it like that. Probably bring out all your measuring tools and whatnot, but I really don't want to go through all of that right now. That will be good. I'm on the wrong way. Alright, cool. Yeah, had to do, I got the pieces twisted around in my head. So this is just kind of how you want it. Make a little spot. Donk right there. I've got a little point that I can drill onto. right there. Should be good. I kind of would like to see it over a tad, but I think we're solid. So there we go. Pivot, hinge. We're good. Alright, so we've got everything drilled. We got our bolts in here. So I'm going to show you an awesome trick. When you don't have a 7/16, like so, you know, you just whip on over and grab yourself an 11mm and same old thing. So as we were saying, we're going to add a couple of washers in here. Take up some of that slack because we didn't care. And while we're at it, we're going to throw one of these here. You know what? I'll throw a washer on there too now. A little spring lock washer that don't work. Put them on there. This will definitely need some Loctite because she rattles quite a bit. Here we are. One hinge ready to go. Alright, so we got this side kind of sitting in there, just hanging out. No big deal. This side, if you'll remember me saying that they were a little bit off, or this tank wasn't quite, you can see it got a little bit of a gap of room there. So what we're going to do instead of building any type of like nice thing that would kick this over, cut this, put it on the inside, none of that, because it's just a little bit too of everything the wrong way. Like if I put it on the inside, you know, it's just too far over. It just it looks weird. So what we're going to do instead is just pile in a metric ton of washers in there and just make like a spacer out of washers. Because I think honestly washers add a touch of class, honestly, to anything like this. Makes it look like a guy cares. Like I care this much. It looks nice. Look at that. She's glorious. She's glorious. So that'll be good enough. I'm going to rig up some clamping mechanism for this. Just kind of get it going. But she should tip up nicely. Throw a couple of tack welds on this stuff here and on this other side. And then we'll turn our attention to something over here that will hold this up. But yeah, so anyway, that looks pretty good, right? I got you in the mobile mount now called my hand. So this is what we're going to use to weld it up. I don't know if welding is great for the lens on my camera, so I'm not going to show that. My MIG welder, it might be a little underpowered. It's kind of a piece of crap. That's it right there. She, yeah, it's old, and I don't think that it's going to have enough balls to get through this and make it nice, so I'm just going to stick weld it. So anyways, that's what we're going to do. I'm going to weld it up and I'll show you the aftermath. Either I'll be on fire or this will, or it'll come out good. Be right back. Alright, so we got to go find a stand for the front of the gas tank. So I'm going to go dig around in the old scrap pile and see what we can come up with. No. No. That looks promising. Hey. That looks pretty good. Yeah. So if we were to, let's say, use that. Let's say cut it off like right about here and just use that as a stand, weld it right to the frame. And then they can probably sit on the gas tank. If this was a gas tank, sit on it just like that and hold it up. Yeah, it's pretty nice to make two of them. Let's go over there and check it out. But yeah, I think this is a pretty nice piece of steel. Worked out good, just some mild steel for us. Oh! Dagnabadar done did it! So there you go. So that's what I did. Don't look too close to the welds. I probably should have, you know, sanded them, cleaned them, ground them more than I did or something, but I didn't. But so that's how she's sitting now. Got the other side done. A little crooked, but I wasn't trying too hard. I beat that over a little bit of persuasion. Perfect. Oh, this one needs some maintenance too. No, not really. Look at that. It's like you bought it that way. There we have it. That fuel drain hole right there, I did pitch the tank a little bit that way, so hopefully it can drain a little bit of fuel. You can see it like that. Hopefully it'll just add enough to it to kind of put it down towards that end. Also, if you wanted to drain the tank, it might help it some with that. So, but overall, just to have another fuel tank on top, this took no time. I didn't even really clean up my spots to weld or anything. I'm just going to hit it with some black paint, and that'll be it. Self-tapping screws. Perfect. So these things work out good. This one needs a little bit more persuasion. Glorious. Perfecto. Yeah. Awesome. Yep. So now I'll show you the magic sauce. Hang on. So here is some foam tape. It's kind of at the end of the roll, and all of the adhesive is stuck to the cardboard. So what we're going to do is we're going to use the very last of, you see cardboard just comes off with it. Can't use that, and you can't peel it off. So we're just going to use some of this Liquid Nails Small Projects adhesive. Stick it on here. And we won't have to worry about this vibration any longer, or ever. This stuff actually turns into like a contact cement, like a rubber, like a silicone. So we'll just slather it on there. There we go. There we go. So just kind of stuck it on there. Now we have a nice little buffer, can vibrate around. That's what it sounds like when it's running. That's the one over there. We're good. I'll put a little clamp on it so it sticks down correctly and install the fuel tank, the fuel level gauge, fuel gauge, the strainer, the petcock, and look at that weld. Isn't that weld beautiful? Look at that one. It looks not bad. We're going to show you all the ones that look somewhat okay. That one doesn't look like a 5-year-old did it. I didn't chip any of the slag off either. Our troubles are over, dude. Prop rod. Just found this, I don't even know what this went to, but essentially this is how I figure it. Pick it up, stick it in there, use that screw that's sticking out up there. There we go. Hangs out there nice. can't shove it in. I guess you could kick it out, but I could even put a little angle on that if I wanted to, just make it weird. But it's solid, ain't going anywhere. Can change on the old oil, air filter, put some fuel in it. It's good to go. She ain't pretty, but it does what I needed to do, and it didn't take me a month to do it. I just kind of threw it all together. You saw. So that's kind of about as good as I want her to get. The fuel filter, the only thing left to do is put in the fuel gauge. I paid extra for the fuel gauge. So put in the fuel gauge, the screen, petcock. I don't have any fuel line, I don't have a fuel filter, and I don't have the T to make both of these tanks work. So I'll have to go find some of that and do that in the next video. But yeah, I think she came out okay. What do y'all think? Post your comments and feedback and hate and all that shit and stuff in the comments below. Like and subscribe, please. You know, it helps a brother out. So wait a minute, I gotta do all that. I'm not much of a welder, but some of the welds came out good. I'd say at least a good 15% of them will hold. But ain't going anywhere. I do have to go into town, so I'll probably go up and get the fuel line and stuff then. But other than that, she's good to go. All right, see you in a bit.